In the world of spirituality and personal transformation, few practices are as profoundly transformative as semen retention. For centuries, various cultures have recognized the sacredness of energy, the importance of retaining vital forces, and how these forces influence not just the individual but also their relationship with others, especially women. One of the most profound dynamics is the connection that is formed between women and men who practice semen retention. It goes beyond the physical realm and taps into the spiritual essence of attraction, drawing women in a way that goes beyond mere physical appeal. At its core, semen retention isn't just a practice about control or abstinence, it is about redirecting one's sexual energy into a more profound, creative, and spiritual expression. By doing so, men transform their internal state, magnifying their aura and presence. The retention of such energy isn't simply for the self, it radiates outwards and has a unique effect on those around them, particularly women. Understanding why women are drawn to retained men requires more than just surface-level analysis. It requires a deeper exploration of energy, psychology, and the spiritual dynamics at play. The mind as the bridge between spirituality and physical attraction. The mind plays an integral role in the way we perceive and interact with the world. It is not just a vessel of thoughts, but a powerful tool that can shape our reality. In the practice of semen retention, the mind is trained to detach from habitual desires and worldly distractions, allowing one to elevate their consciousness. This mental discipline results in a clarity of thought and a higher vibrational frequency that becomes noticeable to others, especially women. When a man practices semen retention, his energy undergoes a shift. This shift can be described as a deeper connection to his own soul and the universe. On a subconscious level, women sense this change. They can pick up on the calmness, the grounded nature, and the self-control that emanates from a retained man. The mind's transformation aligns with the higher aspects of one's spiritual journey, and women, especially those who are attuned to spiritual energy, are instinctively drawn to this powerful state of being. Furthermore, the mental clarity that comes with semen retention helps a man in his interactions with others, particularly women. When a man is clear-headed and spiritually aligned, he exudes confidence and self-assuredness that are magnetic. Women, on a deep spiritual level, are attracted to such a frequency because it signals stability, security, and authenticity, qualities that are rare in a world dominated by external distractions. The role of energy and vibrational frequency. To understand why women are drawn to retained men, one must first understand the concept of energy and vibrational frequency. Every individual emits a specific vibrational frequency, which can be likened to an energetic signature. This frequency is the result of one's thoughts, emotions, actions, and spiritual practices. When a man practices semen retention, his energy field becomes more potent, refined, and expansive. His aura radiates a powerful vibrational frequency that attracts others on a subconscious level. Women are highly sensitive to energy. As nurturers, intuitively, they are connected to the world of energy and emotions. A retained man, with his higher vibrational frequency, offers an energetic presence that is rare in a world saturated with distractions and emotional chaos. Women, whether consciously or unconsciously, are drawn to this presence because it represents something they desire: stability, strength, emotional maturity, and spiritual depth. The dynamics of attraction between retained men and women can be viewed through the lens of energetic resonance. When two individuals' energy fields are in resonance, they form a magnetic connection. For women, being around a retained man can feel like a form of spiritual nourishment. His energy uplifts hers, creating a sense of peace, harmony, and deep connection.
This is why women are often inexplicably drawn to men who are on a path of self-mastery through semen retention. The psychological attraction, unconscious desire for stability and protection. On a psychological level, women are often drawn to men who exhibit self-discipline and mastery over their desires. Semen retention, at its core, is an exercise in self-mastery. A man who practices semen retention is not only controlling his physical impulses, but is also demonstrating his mental and emotional discipline. This type of behavior signals strength, resilience, and reliability, qualities that are deeply valued in a partner, especially from the perspective of women. The psychology behind this attraction can be understood from an evolutionary standpoint. Women, throughout history, have been drawn to men who can offer protection, stability, and security. In the modern world, these traits are no longer linked solely to physical protection, but also to emotional and mental strength. A man who practices semen retention is, in essence, showcasing his ability to protect not just his physical self, but his energy, emotions, and mind. This ability to remain grounded and stable in the face of temptations and distractions is an attractive quality because it suggests that he will be a steady and reliable partner. Moreover, a retained man's discipline and commitment to his personal growth signal to women that he is capable of committing to a long-term relationship and not simply driven by momentary desires. This stability and commitment are psychologically attractive because they provide a sense of security and trustworthiness. Women are often subconsciously looking for these qualities in a partner, and when they encounter a man who demonstrates them through his practice of semen retention, they are naturally drawn to him. The spiritual pull, a deeper connection to the soul. As a man retains his semen, he is said to be preserving not just his physical energy, but also his spiritual essence. This preserved energy becomes a conduit for spiritual growth, enlightenment, and connection to the divine. The journey of semen retention is often described as a path towards self-realization, and it is this higher state of consciousness that women are drawn to. Women, as intuitive beings, often sense this deeper connection to the soul. They can feel when a man is spiritually aligned and in tune with his higher self. The presence of a retained man radiates a sense of peace, purity, and spiritual awareness that is hard to ignore. This spiritual pull is what many women find irresistible. It transcends the physical and taps into the soul-to-soul connection that is often felt but not easily explained. Furthermore, women are naturally wired to connect with men who can help them grow spiritually. In many spiritual traditions, the masculine energy is viewed as the force of action, structure, and creation, while the feminine energy is associated with nurturing, intuition, and emotional connection. When a retained man embodies this balanced energy, he becomes an ideal partner for a woman who is seeking spiritual growth. His spiritual journey becomes a mirror for hers, and together they can create a deeper, more meaningful connection that transcends the physical. Attraction beyond the physical. The role of self-worth and respect. In relationships, attraction isn't only about physical appearance. It is often rooted in deeper emotional and spiritual connections. The power of semen retention lies in its ability to foster a sense of self-respect and self-worth. A retained man is not seeking validation from the outside world. Rather, he is content with his own sense of self. This deep inner contentment and self-respect are magnetic to women. Women are instinctively drawn to men who value themselves, who are not swayed by external validation or societal expectations. A retained man, having undergone the challenges of self-control, understands his worth and does not compromise it for short-term pleasures. This sense of self-worth becomes incredibly attractive to women as it signals that the man is grounded, self-sufficient, and emotionally mature.
Moreover, the respect that a retained man has for himself extends to the women he interacts with. He is not driven by lust or ego, but by a deeper understanding of the sacredness of relationships. This respect for women is felt on an energetic level and creates a safe space where women can feel respected, valued, and cherished. This dynamic of mutual respect and understanding forms the foundation for a strong, lasting relationship that goes beyond mere attraction and into the realm of true partnership. Semen retention as a path to higher consciousness. The practice of semen retention is often associated with the quest for higher consciousness. By retaining sexual energy, men are said to elevate their spiritual vibration and transcend their base desires. This elevation in consciousness is not just for personal growth, but serves as a beacon to others, especially women who are intuitively attuned to spiritual energy. Women on a subconscious level are drawn to men who are on a path of higher consciousness because it offers them an opportunity for spiritual growth. The retained man, through his discipline and inner peace, becomes a guide, a mentor, and a partner who can help them elevate their own energy and consciousness. This dynamic creates a deep spiritual bond between them, one that transcends physical attraction and reaches into the realm of soul connection. Through the shared journey of spiritual evolution, both the retained man and the woman can experience profound growth. The relationship becomes not just about mutual attraction, but about mutual growth. They uplift each other's energy, and together they create a harmonious and balanced partnership that is rooted in spirituality and higher consciousness.
The magnetism of emotional stability. Emotional stability is one of the key traits that make retained men particularly attractive. The mind-body connection that comes with semen retention fosters emotional regulation. A retained man's ability to manage his emotions in a world full of distractions is incredibly magnetic to women, especially those seeking a partner who can provide not just physical, but emotional security. The practice of retaining energy helps men detach from the chaotic impulses that often govern emotional responses. By channeling sexual energy into higher pursuits, retained men become more attuned to their emotional state, learning to act from a place of wisdom rather than reaction. This emotional maturity allows them to engage in relationships with a level of understanding and patience that women deeply appreciate. Women are drawn to men who exhibit emotional control because it creates a sense of safety. This is especially important in a world where emotional volatility is common. A retained man offers a stable foundation, one that is not swayed by the unpredictability of fleeting emotions or external pressures. This kind of emotional grounding is not only attractive, but deeply reassuring to women, who find in this stability the promise of a secure and nurturing relationship. The role of sexual energy in attraction and spiritual connection. Sexual energy is one of the most powerful forms of energy in the human body. When it is not dispersed or misused, it can be transmuted into a higher spiritual vibration. In the journey of semen retention, this transmutation is not just about self-restraint, but the cultivation of a profound spiritual force. Retained men harness this energy, creating an aura that is both captivating and spiritually aligned. Women, particularly those with a heightened spiritual awareness, are sensitive to this transmutation of sexual energy. They feel the raw power and magnetism of a retained man's presence without fully understanding the source of that pull. It is a primal, energetic attraction that transcends physical allure and enters the realm of spiritual resonance. The spiritual dynamics at play in this attraction are subtle but profound. As women become increasingly aware of the power of sexual energy in their own lives, they recognize the value of being around a retained man who can hold and direct this energy. The exchange of sexual energy in the form of attraction becomes a form of spiritual connection. It allows both partners to engage in a sacred union, whether emotionally, mentally, or spiritually, that holds more depth than mere physical intimacy. This dynamic becomes a powerful catalyst for spiritual growth for both individuals, fostering a bond that is both divine and transcendental. The role of discipline in personal growth and spiritual maturity. The practice of semen retention is rooted in discipline, a discipline that requires the mind, body, and spirit to work in harmony. This discipline is not just about controlling one's physical impulses, but about cultivating inner strength and spiritual maturity. A retained man, through his practice, demonstrates his ability to conquer the lower urges of the body in favor of higher consciousness. This commitment to self-discipline and growth is an incredibly attractive trait, especially to women who are often seeking personal development. Discipline is a key component of personal growth, and it acts as a beacon for women who are on their own spiritual journeys. Women are drawn to men who not only practice self-control, but also actively pursue self-improvement. The discipline of semen retention signals that the man is committed to becoming the best version of himself, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. This journey towards spiritual maturity is something that resonates deeply with women, who are often seeking partners who will grow with them on a similar path.
The discipline cultivated through semen retention extends into all aspects of life, including work, relationships, and spiritual practice. A retained man is likely to be more grounded, focused, and purposeful in everything he does. This consistency and dedication to growth become traits that women deeply admire and are naturally drawn to. Women often find strength in the presence of a man who has disciplined his desires in order to pursue a higher calling. It creates a sense of trust and respect, which is foundational for long-lasting relationships. The impact of semen retention on masculine energy and leadership. Semen retention is often associated with a significant amplification of masculine energy. This energy is not to be confused with mere physical strength. It is an internal force that drives action, purpose, and clarity. A man who practices semen retention experiences an elevation of his masculine essence, becoming more purposeful, focused, and assertive. This enhanced masculine energy is something that women subconsciously recognize and are drawn to. At its core, this masculine energy is about leadership. A retained man with his clear sense of purpose and direction becomes a natural leader. This leadership is not necessarily about dominance or control. It is about embodying a sense of inner strength and conviction that others are inspired to follow. Women are often drawn to men who display leadership qualities because they offer a sense of direction and clarity in a world that can often feel chaotic and uncertain. The energy of leadership is an attractive force because it provides a sense of safety and trust. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude confidence and who are capable of leading both themselves and others with integrity. The amplified masculine energy that comes with semen retention allows men to step into a leadership role, not just in their personal lives, but in their relationships as well. This creates a dynamic in which both partners can grow and thrive, with the man serving as a source of stability and direction, while the woman offers emotional depth and nurturing energy. The divine exchange of energy. In conclusion, the attraction between retained men and women is a multi-layered and deeply spiritual phenomenon. It is not simply about physical appeal or psychological attraction. It is about energy, vibration, and the deep spiritual dynamics that shape human connections. Women are drawn to retained men because they sense the energy, discipline, and inner peace that comes with the practice of semen retention. This attraction is rooted in the timeless human desire for stability, protection, and spiritual connection. As men retain their energy and elevate their consciousness, they become beacons of light and energy, attracting women who are seeking depth, meaning, and growth. The relationship between a retained man and woman becomes a sacred exchange of energy where both individuals grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, creating a harmonious and fulfilling connection that goes beyond the physical realm.